right, it's me again. This time we're going to go over the final. The final is a career portfolio. Um, there is an alternative one if you've already done the career portfolio. Just make sure you contact me and I'll give you more information on that. For this, for your final, you do want to make sure that you are properly demonstrating MLA, research and incorporation of quotes. You do need 6 sources for this final project. And you also need an annotated bibliography and a works cited. Remember, the annotated bibliography is done before the writing of the paper, and the works cited is included at the end. You also need to have a 2-page annotated bibliography, a 3-page informational paper, and a 2-page final reflection. So there's 3 separate documents there. Okay, your 2-page annotated bibliography, your 3-page paper with a works cited page, and your 2-page final reflection, which should not have any research in it. It's just a reflection. These are all described and explained inside the prompt that's within the module. So make sure you take the time to go into the module, go into the lecture material, and print the explanation for the essay, because each of those papers are thoroughly explained in that. Also, recognize that in your informational paper, the 3-page paper, make sure that you have paragraphs of about 5 to 10 sentences that focus on one aspect of your career. You don't want to have one paragraph that focuses on salary, education, and skills all in one. No, that's doing too much. What you want to do is you want to focus on each specific topic related to your career. So you might have one paragraph on salary and benefits, another on education needed, another on skills needed, another on outlook. Whatever you want to write about on your career, it needs to have separate paragraphs for each separate topic. And in each of those paragraphs, you'll incorporate research from your 6 sources, and one of those sources should be an interview of some sort. The interview does not have to be face-to-face, especially considering everything that's going on. Email, by phone are also acceptable forms. Your thesis should reflect on the main point of the paper. So your thesis for this paper would sound maybe like, becoming a teacher requires a certain amount of education, skills, and more. Then the reader knows that you're going to be talking about the career of becoming a teacher, and you're going to be talking about education, skills, and additional topics. Like I said before, you are required to have an interview. Use the interview as another source. So don't just say or copy and paste the question and answer. This what I said, this what they said, this what I said, this what I said. No. Take that information and look at it after you've conducted the interview, and then take that information and put it where it belongs. So if you ask the person that you interviewed, what are some things that you think that I would really need to know for a position like this, then that particular response is one that you would put in the paragraph about skills. Okay, I would really encourage you to think about questions that you're not going to find the answer to online. Sometimes speaking to someone who is in the field and doing the work will give you a better idea about what really to expect. Okay, it's not always what you might find on a regular website. Also, let's see, include a resume and a cover letter for extra points. Okay, each are worth 5 points. So if you do the resume, that's 5 points. If you do the cover letter, that's 5 points. You can see if you can contact career services, have them review your resume, make sure it looks good, and turn it in. You could do a cover letter for a sample job, maybe when in your research while you were looking at Outlook, job outlook, seeing if that particular career is one that's actually on the rise or not. Maybe in that research you might have found an actual position that you thought, hey, that's interesting. So maybe create a cover letter, a standard cover letter that you could use for that particular job. So, and like I said, you can have career services look over that. So remember, there's a 2-page annotated bibliography, the 3-page informational paper, and then the 2-page final reflection. To add length to the 3-page paper, think about adding quotes and support to each of your points, and or adding additional claims or topics. So if you only talked about education in one, skills in the other, and that wasn't enough, then what else could you tell me about your career? Maybe about the daily things that you do, or something like that. So that's an option. And then finally, like always, make sure you review the lecture activities or lecture material. There are no lecture activities for this particular folder, but it's still important to make sure that you look through the lecture material. You'll find some information about interviews and other things of that nature. Alrighty, guys, hope that helps, and happy writing.